We're here to talk about your work for suicide prevention. You've done a lot of work over the past 4 years, and I just want to ask you a little bit about that. I know that you've recently started you hold this own gala thing every year. What's that called?
The Jordan Sprague Freedom to Live Gala.
What is the gist of it? Like, what goes on? What's the event?
I've held 2 galas so far, one in 2012 and one in 2013. The money goes to Samaritans in New York to educate people in a position who are in a position dealing with kids every day, to educate them in looking for signs of depression and suicidal tendencies, and to support the hotline. And I started it in our case because our son took his life in July of 2010. And so I was moved to do this to keep his name alive and to also help others.
How exactly did you get involved with Samaritans?
Actually, after our son passed away, I had attended an event in New York City a few months after, and I met a woman that worked for Samaritans, and I expressed to her at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something. And she said, we started talking, and she encouraged me that first year to do a fundraising event, but I wasn't ready at that point.
And what does Samaritans do?
Like I said, they provide the hotline, they provide educational services, they'll go out into the community, just really trying to educate educators as to this problem, because it is unfortunately epidemic among today's young people.
I'm aware that you participated in previous events, American Suicide Prevention Foundation. Can you tell me a little about what you did there?
Yeah, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Right after our son, excuse me, passed away, I kind of was left by myself. Kids finally returned to school. My husband returned to work, and I knew pretty early on that I wanted to do something. And so I went online and I was doing some research, and I found this organization, non-for-profit. They're huge, and I organized a walk, because I didn't organize the walk. They do the walks, but I organized our team, and our team became Team JoJo, and this year will be our 5th year walking, I believe, and Team JoJo is 60 people strong. It's one of the largest. It is the largest team for that particular walk.
Is it like a family affair? Do you have family members that participate, or is it just?
It's family. It's a lot of our son's friends, but yeah, and it's our friends, and it's really in a bizarre way a very uplifting day. The walk takes place in a beautiful park, and we don't see Jordan's friends anymore. And so I get to see his friends, and when I see his friends, it's a wonderful thing for me, bittersweet but wonderful. And it's a good come together 5K walk where you share a lot in that half hour or so that it takes to walk.
Do you see yourself as a person who's trying to get rid of the stigma of suicide through these events and promoting prevention?
Yes, actually I do. I feel very strongly that it's a very taboo topic. I think as soon as you mention suicide, there's so many strings attached to it. Mental illness, and instability in a person that would cause them to do something like this. And it's very much hush hush and pushed under the carpet. And if there's going to be change and money raised, just like anything else, diabetes, cancer, heart, it needs to be addressed. It can't be swept under the carpet. It's a reality, and it's, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd killer among young men in particular, in the age group between 18 to 24.
At this point, you've been doing it for several years. How much in total have you and your family raised? Both combined, the walk and the gala.
I would say over $100,000. I would say probably $115,000.
So at this gala, what exactly is there? Is there an auction? What exactly goes on when people walk through the door?
Well, the gala is a very uplifting event too. It's we're dealing with a very serious subject matter, but you don't want to invite people to something and they walk away being depressed and think, I'm never going back there again. So So we do silent auction items, and we get donations from the community. We did, the first year we did a DJ. The second year we did a band, a live band, and then also in there we had my daughter Rose, 14, she's 14, she can sing, and she sang a beautiful song that she had written for her brother. And then my son Jack is a drummer, so he also was able to play a song. So I really felt good about it, and actually I think the second gala was better than the first, because the feeling was so much, it's just, it's a family, it's a family, friendship, unity. People that come are our friends, or friends of friends, because it's grown, it's a fairly large event. I mean, I want to say 75, 80 people. And you come together in sharing, you come together, you know, in happiness and in memory. This past year, we also had a couple there who also lost their son to suicide 14 years ago. And they've been great in kind of helping us in our own walk. And so when we came together this year, we remembered not only our son Jordan, but their son as well. And like I said, it's a very serious subject matter, but the event is a very uplifting time that we get to share with people. And I really get to thank everybody personally for the contribution, not only monetarily, but just the kindness that has been shown to our family.
You mentioned that you have younger children. Do you think that by shedding almost a positive light on the situation with your son, that it almost helped them deal with what everything happened?
Yes, I do. I will tell you that when this happened, it was, you know, you really don't have time to think. You just have to do. Mm-hmm. And we have 5 surviving children. And you know, you just kind of go with your instinct. That's all you have to go on. But we made the decision from the very, very beginning to, we shield the others definitely from the more the reality of mm-hmm. it, because some of our children are just too young. Yeah. But we never, we always talk about him. We keep him alive in this house. His name is mentioned all the time. We remember, you know, we laugh together. Remember when Jordan did this or Jordan did that. So I guess in the end, what I would say is that the different age groups that we had at the time, 17 down to 5, we tailored our parenting to what we felt that they could handle at their age.
You're very obviously well versed in suicide prevention and the statistics and all that. Do you think mental health and that sort of warning sign should be taught in health class?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. And I think that's where it gets its stigma. But really, there is a huge mental health component here. I mean, it's not to say that everybody that does choose this is mentally ill, but there is a mental health component, and I think mental illness scares people. And I think until this is really looked at in the broad picture, that change will not come. And it should be looked at the same way, as I said, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, as other diseases, because it takes your life.
Mm-hmm. How do you come across the items for the silent auction? Are they donated by local businesses or?
Mm-hmm. A lot of them are, and you know, really, when you start looking at your local businesses, there's an awful lot out there to offer. There's restaurants. You know, we've done this year. We were fortunate enough to have a local artist donate a painting that was beautiful. We have you know, hair salons that donate products and services, but really, and like I was thinking in my head that. You really need a committee. You know, I've learned so much, but it's good if you can kind of give everybody a task. And so, you know, some of my friends or one person will be responsible for going out. I have a good friend of mine is a local business owner herself. So she comes in contact with a lot of these people, and she's well known in the area. So she'll reach out, you know, to different people, and that's how we found the local artist this year. But the silent auction items are fun. I think people really like them because they're so diverse. You know, it's neat, and it's just another aside to the night, to the event.
Have you done anything like scholarship wise?
Oh yes, that's a good one. We had put money aside for my son, obviously, for his college career, and we decided when this happened that that was still his money, and so we took it and we. I don't know how we did it, to be honest with you. I think my husband took more care of that. But a local company writes scholarships and does all that. So we started the Jordan Sprague Memorial Scholarship Fund. And each year his high school that he graduated with will award $5,000, a dual scholarship, a $5,000 amount to the person who achieves excellence in history and a person who achieves excellence in foreign language, which was our son, two of his favorites and his passion. And it's really, that's difficult. That's difficult. That bothers me a lot, but at the same time, I like how much we're allowed to be a part of it. And each year they narrowed that, we had meetings and we narrowed down exactly how we wanted to be involved, and they were very receptive. And so my husband and I get 10 essays, because part of this is a huge application and an essay, and we are able to pick, not knowing, it's a blind thing. You don't know who the young person is, but you go through and then and you vote. Then we vote amongst ourselves. And last year we had a huge discrepancy, so we had to go back to the table. It was very interesting, but we came together, and then and then you hear from these kids. They send you thank you notes, and just knowing that his money is doing something really good for other kids, and it makes us feel very good.
Do you see yourself continuing this this work, or maybe building on different horizons in the future?
It's interesting because I definitely do want to stay with this. I'm very, very passionate about this, and like I said, it's a huge issue. But I've learned a couple things. First of all, I'm taking this year off. I will do the walk in September. But I felt this year I needed a break from it, and also, you feel kind of funny. This is so huge to us, and we're so passionate about it, but it's not everybody's passion. So you don't want to constantly be going, hey, it's me again. Would you like to buy tickets to the fundraiser? Would you like to donate to the walk? You don't want to fatigue your public. You don't want them to think that you're always, with your hand out, looking. So I think it's good that I'm taking a break this year. But one thing that's happened, it's opened my eyes to the fact that I want to be involved in fundraising. I mean, I think fundraising, whether it's suicide prevention and awareness or something else, but I definitely have found my calling in this. It's good to fundraise. People need to do it.
Do you have, when you do the walks and the galas, do your children's friends ever come and support
Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome, and I think it's meant the world to my older kids because their friends have come out in support of them, and that's what I mean. It's a good vibe. It's just a very serious topic, but like I said, just a wonderful, and everybody's got their friends, or for all of us, it's nice to see Jordan's friends, and it's fun because we walk around this park, and I think it's 3 loops. It qualifies for the 5K. And you just start catching up, like, okay, you're done with this guy, you move along, you talk to someone else, and you really, in the course of that 5K, you get to pretty much talk to everybody and just catch up, just for a couple minutes, and it's great. It's great.
Well, thank you again for sitting down with me. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you for having me.